What's up, everybody? This is Marty Sleva here with Greg Kasavin of Supergiant Games. Greg, welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, and we are here to look at Transistor, and this is the demo we played at PAX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Direct feed this time.
Direct feed. So, yeah, we're just going to take you through what we played, and Greg's going to do a little commentary while we do it. So
Sure. Let's get started then.
Absolutely.
So, we are just kind of setting the stage here.
Mm-hmm.
This is setting up certain events that, we like to throw you in off the deep end here.
So is this, I don't know, can you say, is this going to be how the game opens? Like the same way that Bastion opened with the kid in bed?
We're still figuring it out exactly. In Bastion's case, it kind of evolved from what we first showed, and I expect this probably will evolve likewise.
Sure,
but yeah, I think we like to throw you into the action, immediately.
Yeah.
And so this is,
Look what I have.
in the case of Transistor, very early on you discover this weapon called the Transistor, and as you can see, it appears to be talking. It's also embedded in the body of a man who's very much dead. So let's take it.
The Transistor. The one and only.
So yeah,
Okay.
Red here, as I like to say, she's having a very bad evening, and
That's not me.
she has escaped from a murder attempt, though not entirely unscathed. And
So please.
I guess the good news for her is that she actually, has retrieved the weapon that very nearly killed her. It's this thing called the Transistor. This is not a normal everyday sight in the city that she's from, and she's gonna take off with it. But very early on, you encounter these things that they really, really want this weapon back, and that's kind of the basic setup for what's going on. And there's a lot of mystery at the beginning, I would say, and I think even from her perspective, she doesn't know why these people would want her dead, and what this Transistor thing even is, and she's going to try and find out.
Some kind of cell.
So our foes here,
Okay, let's go.
they have some unusual properties.
To the bank.
They will, among other things, they will come back to life unless you kind of absorb them into the Transistor. And you're seeing here, with this game, we wanted to kind of realize this kind of this futuristic city type of setting. That's for us, it's a lot different from something like a destroyed world of our previous game.
Yeah, it feels very much like it has a few different styles. It has Art Nouveau, but it doesn't seem like it's so far flung into the future that it's inconceivable.
Yeah, that's right. It actually is. It's something that we played with on Bastion as well. Like, you can't quite place the time period. We like that feeling. I think it adds to just the sense of, the world can feel sort of familiar, but you're trying to figure out, where is this exactly? When is this happening?
Yeah.
So we just kind of, that was our first introduction to something that is pretty different about how this game plays, and something we've spent a lot of time trying to figure out is this this mode that we call simply turn, where you can plan your actions and then execute them in sort of a supercharged way. And it's governed by that meter you see at the top of the screen. So at almost any time you can enter into this mode. You can queue up your different actions. If you do something you don't want, you can always undo, kind of one move at a time. Spend as much time as you want deciding what to do, and then do it. And we wanted to do this because we wanted the pace of it to kind of we wanted players to be able to dictate the flow of battle, because that just kind of felt powerful and interesting, and also to kind of have more ebb and flow to the combat, which for us it just added drama to it, so that you have these moments where you go to town on an enemy, but then your plan doesn't go quite right. They survive, they retaliate against you, and having that kind of back and forth.
So it's very much a kind of a risk-reward element to it, where if planned correctly, you could really turn the tide of battle, but if you kind of muck up your decisions, you're going to be open for an attack.
Yeah, that's right. We wanted to make positioning feel really important, and kind of reward players for thinking through where they're going to start their moves, where they're going to end up, use of cover, position-based attacks, all sorts of things like that. We wanted to make really interesting and like a pretty intuitive part of the play. So here we like. So here for example, one of your starting attacks is this function called breach. You can kind of line it up and make sure you tag all these guys, and this guy's going to survive. So let's hit him a couple more times and see if we could take all these guys out in a single salvo here. Nice. And we actually missed him. So we'll have to.
Are you rewarded for taking out like a group of enemies all in one fell swoop?
They're like we're still figuring that out for sure in terms of like how, to what extent. It certainly is its own reward to a certain extent to just kind of resolve the encounters efficiently. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as to whether we have like combo bonuses and things like that, we're certainly interested in exploring those types of ideas, because we want you to like, we want you to develop these kind of more dramatic plans and kind of experience the outcomes of them, seeing how much we want to give you incentive to do that.
So what did you just do with that poster? That's something I completely missed.
Yeah, that is this is just kind of giving you a sense of you can explore this environment to a certain extent. You're just learning a little bit about it in this particular case. There's a little bit of mystery around this idea that you're scanning these things. Also, earlier we interacted with this sort of the remains of this person, and we acquired a new ability. So that's a system that's going to be kind of much more fleshed out in the full game, but it's kind of implicit of where you will be getting powers from and things of that nature. So here I will, here we learn a little bit more about what's going on.
Red, I'm sorry. I couldn't stop them before they took your voice. Well, we have something of theirs. No one else will get hurt now. You and me will make sure.
So.
Oh man.
So people who played Bastion might kind of find a familiarity with that voice. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, I mean, everyone who worked on Bastion is working on Transistor, including Logan Cunningham, our incredibly talented voice actor who was the voice of Bastion's narrator. This time around, his voice is once again key to this game. Though he plays a very different character from our point of view.
Certainly.
Where he's this he's this voice coming from the Transistor, and someone who, hopefully you get the impression that he's someone who cares about Red very much. And he's sort of in a bad situation. He's not used to being in a strange sword, but he's trying to make the most of it here and help her out. So from our point of view, it's like it's a pretty different approach for us of like having a character who's sort of along for the ride with you, not just someone who is omnisciently aware of everything that you're doing. So he's kind of piecing things together at the same rate as the player, and hopefully helping you understand some of what's going on, and will become a character that hopefully you'll feel something about.
Something else really interesting I'm noticing right now is that it's not a very traditional battle theme. I mean, this is a beautiful vocal song that's playing during this battle. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's the music in this game. I would it's very important to us from a development perspective. I mean, it's the character. The character is this sort of fallen singer in a way, and you'll sort of discover traces of her, her fame, I guess, as part of this world. And in that previous scene, it's just your kind of first sense of the kind of person she used to be until very, very recently when she got into this situation. So yeah, the other will
I think I knew this guy.
We'll get more of a sense of it here in the next scene. But yeah, we want to do interesting stuff with the music in this game for sure, and we have lots of ideas about that. It's just for us, where the atmosphere of the experience is really important, and we find that music is like one of the key ways of just building a particular tone and atmosphere for our games. Oh, here you're seeing that something really bad is beginning to happen in this town. This is not the way the city normally looks.
Yeah.
So yeah, and these guys are clearly up to something. But yeah, with regard to the music, when you enter into this mode, you could hear this kind of ghostly vocals.
Sure, and even the bar at the top even kind of resembles sheet music to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Those kind of references are in there.
Yeah.
So it's and we don't want to necessarily hit the nail on the head with all this stuff, but more kind of create certain feelings around it and give you a sense of how this contrast between this sort of frenetic real-time mode where a lot of these enemies are actually quite a bit faster and just very dangerous, but at any point it's like, no, slow down, like this is my turf. I'm gonna dictate what happens here, and that kind of back and forth is interesting to us. I gained this other ability called Jaunt, where I can get behind a guy, hit him a couple of times, take cover. So yeah, we want to make it feel super open-ended, as to how you use this, and part of our thought process around like giving you such a powerful ability early on is like it makes us approach designing the enemies and the encounters like from a really different point of view than in our previous game, for example.
Yeah, the entire battle system, is built around this, as opposed to this being a feature you get 50% through the game, you get this ability.
No, yeah, this was absolutely core to us. We spent a lot of time kind of sorting this out, so yeah, we're glad that it's gotten a really good response so far. It makes us happy because, yeah, it's something that we've spent a while trying to get right. Yeah, we play with perspective a little bit in this game.
Process. Well, if it is, no wonder. Look at this. I'd rather live in Cloudbank too.
So yeah.
Man, what a night.
There are some strange things afoot.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how you can't tell if the process is like a virus or if it's, it has an architecture to it, so you're not sure if it's man-made.
Cool.
No, I didn't expect you to say anything. Yeah, certainly. But I like how ambiguous it is.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is, again, implicit of where some things are going to go, but the transistor starts off very powerful and sort of it only kind of grows from there. And we like, one of the ways I like to think about it is like this idea that what if there were a game where you get like the ultimate weapon right at the very beginning, not like not just for the final boss fight or something like that. Where would you even take that, and how would you make that interesting? And so again, from our point of view, it just opens up a lot of different encounter types, and just hopefully if kind of our ideas around this are successful, then you'll get the impression that this thing will basically just keep surprising you all throughout the game. We wanted to really sort of make you feel very strongly about this particular weapon that you find it having a lot of mystery to it, but also kind of a lot of personality as well.
So I guess that sort of answers one of my questions. I at PAX, I almost got the feeling that it could have been like how in Symphony of the Night, Alucard starts off highly overpowered, and then suddenly, Death rips all of his abilities away from him. So that's not really something that you guys are...
No. In fact, we're... so, like, I'm a fan of that kind of particular trope. Like the Metroid games, do that often as well. We kind of like... we want to sort of... run counter to some of those expectations, and so if anything, it's like here, you know, you get super powered early, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, really? I'm this strong already? We'd rather try and kind of figure out that direction in this case, as opposed to feeling like a weakling after having a taste of that power.
5 blocks down. Take the second right.
So we're winding down here.
And thanks for the lift.
I've been talking over our story here the whole time, so I apologize.
Well, we'll have the video cut separately.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch it, a completely fresh look at it, do that.
The process.
Yeah. But here, yeah, you get a bit of a sense of where things are going to go.
You met these things. They do not have a sense of humor. You're more than just a name to them now.
Essentially,
Drag you down, wipe you out,
our
take the transistor.
our friend here,
Back to those 2 bits.
stuck inside
Trash.
the transistor, has been urging Red to get out of Dodge because she's in a really bad situation, and he wants her to be all right. But
Thanks.
she seems to have other ideas.
Look, whatever you think.
I think that makes for a more interesting game.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it will make for somewhat of a longer game, perhaps. And you just escape. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you're just out of town. You're good.
escaping
Yeah.
is a valid strategy, I guess, as well. But yeah, so she's gonna go confront these things and try to track down these people who have put her in this situation. Yeah, over the course of the story, you will learn much more about what's going on, I think.
So are these notes all accurate? You're aiming for early 2014.
Yeah,
probably,
that is
possibly?
correct. Yeah, these are all accurate. Who am I to dispute anything being said here? Yeah, this is, you know, again, this is what we showed at PAX. But yeah, we kind of play around with some of this type of text in the world, and we're having it's interesting to, in the context of this science fiction game, having this kind of other, more subtle voice going on that's in the text.
Certainly.
But yeah, that is a quick look at Transistor.
Thank you so much, Greg.
My
I
pleasure.
mean, honestly, coming out of PAX East, I know Mitch and I got a chance to play it, and we're both, completely infatuated with it. So
Thank you very much.
Yeah, can't wait to see more. And yeah, for everything else Transistor, stay tuned to IGN.